morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is April the 17th, it's Friday, and on Tuesday we did an analysis of the 8 currency pairs that I look at. So today we're just going to go through that process again very briefly to see where we are in terms of all the movements in the market. I'm not expecting much to change today, although it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, an hour after the Europe Open of cash trading. There is no important news releases today, so I'm not expecting the market to change that much in terms of the pairs that I'm focused on. We're just going to do a quick wrap up and see where we are. So without further ado, let's get to it. GBP on the weekly. Now, as you can recall from our Tuesday analysis, we put in a horizontal line at the 0.87, 0.86 level, and I did say that if we violated our 0.86 level, I'll look to shorten that pair. Let's stick in our horizontal line again at that 0.86 level and drop to the daily, and let's have a look where we are with that. So there's not much has been happening on this pair in the week. I mean, the Euro GBP isn't at the forefront of my watch list at the moment. So let's just I'm just gonna stick in the Fibonacci to test that horizontal line and see where we are. Okay, so we're on a 70% on the Fibonacci. So yeah, we're on the 70% of the Fibonacci, which is a good place for that horizontal line. And looking left on the daily, we can see that the resistance, the support and resistance at that level as well. So I'm quite comfortable with that support level around that 0.87 to 0.86. So I'm quite happy that, you know, if we did violate that 0.86 and we're heading down and we're touching the 0.85, then, and I'll come back to this pair and look to short it. But for the moment, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to get rid of my Fibonacci and leaving a horizontal line there. So I'm just going to jump quickly to the weekly, and we can see a divergence on the RSI. And let me just drop in a quick trend line to show you. So this just reinforces our thinking on this pair violating that support level at the 0.86, 0.85. Now, once that level is violated and we broke past that 0.86, we're heading down to the 0.85 and a half. Then, depending on where the fundamentals are at that moment, we can then look into opening a short position. I think we're just going to remain consolidated at this level and possibly for a while. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for the moment and leave that support level in there and move on to the next pair. Based on our analysis on Tuesday, we did put in a horizontal line at the 128 support level. So if I just drop that in there, so if we just leave it there at 128, yeah, 128.079 level, and jump back down to the daily, and we're still a few pips away from that support level. I don't think we're gonna get there. I mean, we're heading towards the cloud anyway, and there's a good probability that we're gonna head back to the downside, taking into account the fundamentals as well where we are. There's a lot of factors that play into these trades. Your technicals can be good. You need to focus on your technicals and your fundamentals. As I've always said, you know, the technicals, the fundamental, and market psychology in smart money. Let's just jump back out to the weekly again and see where we are. I'm gonna move the chart to the far right to have another full view. We can see that the wick of the weekly candlesticks is in the cloud. We're kind of testing the Senko here. So yeah, for this pair, I'm just gonna leave the horizontal line in there, and then we know that there's not much happening. It could be a good position to short here, but again, I mean, it will depend on what the fundamentals are on the open on Monday. So let's just jump back to the daily. I'm gonna put a Fibonacci retracement on there and see where we are. Well, 50%. So yeah, we're just gonna wait and see how that plays out, because there's the consolidation. There's a consolidation at this point. There's not much happening there. We need to have a higher highs or a lower lows for us to be able to make any decisions on where we want to go. So I'm gonna leave the horizontal line in there, jump back to the weekly, and move on to the next pair. Euro USD straight to the weekly. Again, as we recall from our Tuesday analysis, we had a support level in there at 111. So let's just drop that back in there again. Yeah, just leave it at 111 thereabouts. Yeah, and then we jump back down to the daily and see where we are. I mean, there is still a consolidation. Not much has happened since our Tuesday analysis, and we still our verdict still remains the same. We're gonna see we're gonna see if this level gets tested, and then if so, we can then look at our strategy and see if all the boxes are ticked for us to open a sell position. But for the time being, again, and we're just gonna wait and see what happens. Let me just jump quickly up to the weekly to have another look. I mean, we're still steadily on the downtrend. I mean, there's nothing much has changed since Tuesday. Our verdict remains the same. We're just gonna wait and see, if we get out of this consolidation and head towards our support level to test it. More importantly, see where the fundamentals are at about this point. So we can also see on the daily the divergence on the RSI and where the Chiken is sitting. I mean, this is a really good pair to watch. It could be a good short position pending. But as I said, it is on my watch list, and we'll keep tabs on it and see what the coming week brings. To the weekly, again, this pairs, nothing has changed since our Tuesday analysis. I mean, we're still holding at that level. Let's just drop in our horizontal line again, which is at the 106. We said 106.7, so 106.9. So let's just put it in there roughly at 106.68 and jump back down to the daily, and we can see we're still hovering around that this level. It's not much has changed there. I mean, for me to be able to open a sell position, my strategy will have to be assured that we break below this level and we close below this level, seeing where the Tekken and the Kaiju is as well. There's also a divergence on the RSI here on the daily. Let's just drop that in there for you to see. Got divergence there. We can see our Chiken is at the lows here. That's all forms part of our strategy. Now we will keep tabs on this pair and see how the fundamentals play out in the week. But for the time being, I mean, nothing has changed much. We'll jump up back to the weekly and move on to the next pair, which will be our GBP yen. So on to the GBP yen. Let's jump straight down to the weekly and see where we are. Again, nothing has changed much since our analysis on Tuesday. We're still heading into the cloud where we're kind of consolidated at 134, at about 134.5. Let's just dump back down to the daily and have another look. I'll put in the lines. Yeah, nothing has changed much. We're still consolidated here. We had a horizontal line in at 136. Let's just drop that in there again. 130. We said about 136 at this level. Yeah, just drop it to 136.8 at that level. Look into your far left. That's a good support level as well. And we've got the cloud here, which will look like we're kind of just about testing the Kumo. So let me just jump back down to the 4 hours to get a bit closer look, and yeah, we can see that we're kind of consolidated here as well. We're in the cloud at a certain point. So I mean, our verdict remains the same on this. I mean, until we break below the previous lows at about the 130, the 133. Let me just have another look at that. But I'm gonna move this horizontal line quickly down here for me to just have a look at those previous lows. Previous lows of 132.6. If we break below that, then I'll be looking for a divergence on the RSI on the daily, like a decent divergence. This is not part of this. Where we are with the RSI is not part of what I would like to see for me to be able to be comfortable enough. I mean, this all forms part of my strategy. This pair will have to break below the previous lows and close below the previous lows. I'll then have to see if my technicals are all aligned along with the fundamentals, because all the USD, the GBP, the yen, and other major pairs as well kind of play mainly with the fundamentals at the moment. So if the technicals are all aligned and the fundamentals are in place, then we will have to, we'll have to come back to this and have a look. But hopefully the week brings up that setup below the lower lows for us to be able to go and short that pair. So if I jump up, I've just jumped up back to the weekly to have a look, and see where our consolidation, see where we are. I'm gonna jump up again quickly the monthly, just to have another, you know, an overall picture to see where we are. We got lows down here, we got lows there, so I mean it's a consolidation at the moment, and it's one of those things where you just have to wait and see how the market play out. Let's just move on to the next pair, which is the Kiwi dollar. So let's just jump straight down to the weekly. I mean, there's not much has changed since our analysis on Tuesday. We can see that we violated the support level. I mean, as we recall, we violated that support level down here, 0.60, and we're kind of heading up to retest it again at the 0.61. If we just jump back down to the weekly, we can see that there's not much has changed since our Tuesday analysis. We're kind of still hovering around the 0.60, the 0.61. So I'm not gonna do, there's not much for me to do on here till we kind of either break into the cloud, and I'll have to come back to have another look at a short position, and then, you know, take into consideration where our fundamentals are. If we retrace back to the support point up here and break into the cloud, then I might revisit this pair for a short position. Let me just drop in a quick trend line to see, to just give me a bit more clarity. So yeah, I'm kind of looking for a retracement back into the cloud, back into the 0.64 level. It's kind of in line with what we discussed on Tuesday. You just have to wait for, you know, the setup to present itself for you to be able to take full advantage of it. So on that note, I'm just gonna keep tabs on this, and we'll move on to the next pair, which is the Aussie dollar. Just jump back down to the weekly. I'll be expecting us to test this level here again that we've tested in January of this year. I'll be looking for us to test this level here again, the 155. Now let's just have another quick look down to the daily and see where we are. So let me just put in a quick note here. So this is the main, as I said, I mean, in regards to our Tuesday analysis, this is where I'm expecting the pullback to begin, down here to the 165, and I wouldn't be going in until we get down to the 160. The 160, once we break below the cloud again, and the tech end crosses the Kaiju, so all my technicals are aligned, and then I'll go in for a short position. There's quite a strong possibility that we're definitely going to be testing that that 0.55 level again. So I'm just going to wait now, and, you know, for that setup to present itself. I'm going to leave on the weekly, and leaving our horizontal line, which is at the 0.60. Let's drop it down to the 0.60 and just leave it there, the 0.60 right there, the 0.63. So once we break below that, then I know that we're going to be testing the 0.55. So I'm just going to leave the horizontal line in there, and then put it back up to the weekly, which is what we are on now, and then move on to the last but not least is the gold dollar. Okay, on to the gold dollar. Let me just jump back down to the weekly, and as we've discussed, we're gonna stick in our horizontal line at the 1780, because this is the resistance level. If we look left on the weekly, is the level that we've tested in the past. So now we know that that's a strong level which will be respected. Again, not much have changed since our analysis on Tuesday. We're kind of still hovering around the 1688 to the 17 level. I mean, we've come as far up here as the 1750 level. We're still kind of hovering around the 1690 to the 1720 level. This looks like a possible formation of an evening star here. But again, this level will be, you know, if we test this level, then we know that we'll just have to then wait to see if we close above or below. But this is the level for us to be looking to short this pair. But then, as I said, with all the USD pairs, we need to then pay close attention to the fundamentals and see where we are with those, which forms part of our strategy. So let's just jump down to daily and see where we are. We've broken above the 1750 up here. I'm just drawing a little circle. Then we've kind of retraced back to a previous resistance level. So I mean, let's just see how long we hold up here. But I will be looking at a test. I'm still quite confident that we're gonna test the 1780 level, and at this level is where I'll make my decision. Let's just jump quickly down to the weekly. So I mean, our verdict on this pair is the same as it was on Tuesday. Not much has changed. We're just gonna see how, whether we test that level, which could be a good position for short. All eyes is on this pair and other USD pairs to see where we are. So hopefully next week brings us a bit more volatility and we get to test this level and and see where we are. So let me just jump back down to the daily and have a look. Let's see. I'm just going to jump back up to the weekly and let's have a quick look at lows. So if we test this level and we're comfortable that looking left, it is a respected level, which we are comfortable is going to be a respected level, then we can open our short position and be looking down for us to be able to test against the 1550 lows. So again, that's a formation pending, and we'll just have to wait and see where we are or what happens next week. Okay guys, there you have it. There was no surprises there, nothing that we weren't expecting. The fundamentals is kind of where it is. There's no surprises on the technicals neither. We'll just have to wait and see what the open brings us on Monday. Mondays and Friday from now going forward, I'll do an analysis of the beginning of the week, and on the Friday I'll do summary of the week so we can then see where we are against that analysis. So if you find this video helpful or useful in any way, do give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Have a good weekend, and I see you on Monday.